Good morning. This is the 24 kilowatt leaf that I borrowed from Ancaster, as you can probably tell by the bonnet, that I have got for 4 days, which I'm just going to drive about like my normal car. And I did it for 2 days, no 4 days altogether with a 30 kilowatt leaf, and I'm just trying it with this 24 kilowatt one, just so I can directly compare the miles you get. This is the not the Techno, this is the one down, the Centre model. So it's not the top of the range one, but that's good, because if I was going to buy one, I don't think I'd buy the top of the range one anyway. Otherwise it's identical in there to the 30 kilowatt leaf, except it's got all that horrible sunlight on it, which I didn't like, but you know, hey ho. I'll let you know how it goes. Good morning. This is 2nd of March 2016, and I have borrowed a 24 kilowatt leaf from Nissan Ancaster in Eltham for a 4-day test drive, or 3-day test drive I think it was. And I charged it up last night, and we're now on, it says 96 miles, 100% charge. So I'm going to drive to work, which is Eltham to Westerham, in case you want to look those mileage up. And then I'm going to drive down to a friend's house, and then I'm going to drive back again. Somewhere between 70 to 80 miles. I may have to go to a fast charger on the motorway, depending on how we do. In the 30 kilowatt leaf, I made it back on a single charge. On this one, because it's the 24 kilowatt leaf one, don't know if we're going to make that, but we'll see how it goes. I'm going to be frugal in my driving to try and eke out the miles, and we'll see how we get on. Just as a side note, I am going to leave it in eco mode, so the acceleration is muted, and I should probably put it in braking mode until I get on the motorways, and then I'll take it off of that, and I should probably leave the heating off most of the time. Just to give you some idea, as you can see it's 3 degrees outside, so it's a little bit nippy. It actually did warn me that it's a low temperature outside when it started up, so the battery's probably not on its best performance, but we'll see. This is the 24 kilowatt Centre model, so it's not the top of the range. So we don't have all the heated seats and all of the heated steering wheel and all the rest of it. And the seats are just standard seats, as you can tell. It's not the basic model. It's the Centre. Okay, we'll see how we get on. Well, here we go. Just did 22.2 miles. And that's dropped down to 60, so that used what, 1, 2, 3 bars that used, and that's 30% of the battery to go 22 miles. So that's going to be 20, 40, 60, it's going to be about 70 to 75, isn't it, altogether? But anyway, so that's what we got to when I made it to work today. Interestingly, the 30 kilowatt leaf, when I went round to my friend's house, was at about 50% left, which means there was enough to get home. This one, I was looking at and I would have got there probably with about 40%, 35, which would have made it really tight getting home. I'd have been running on vapour. So what I decided to do was take a little detour to the M2 services and have a little ecotricity top up. So I'm going to be here for 15-20 minutes to get some power before I go on my final bit. I've just finished doing a quick charge, so I'm now back up to 65 on the gasometer. So that's me done. I'm off. This is the 3rd or 4th of March. This is the morning after my little journey last night. I did 97.4 miles yesterday and had to do a stopover to do a charge up, because I wouldn't have made the journey otherwise. Normally it would have been about 80 miles, but I wouldn't have made that either. So I did make that in the 30 kilowatt leaf, and didn't make it without a charge in this one. So it's interesting. I'll do some summaries about mileage later on. So yeah, 97.4 miles I did yesterday. As another side note, I left it on slow charging overnight, and it says we've now got 77 miles, 97%. That's been on all night. That charger is way too slow. So I said it before, but if you get a charger for home, make sure you get the faster one. You know, you can't let it charge up for 8 hours, it takes too long. You need the ideally the 32 amp charger so you can charge the thing up in a few hours. Anyway, so there we are. Just a little check. I'm at work now. I've just been up to the shop and back. It was about 22, now on 24. It says 60 miles on the gasometer, 64%. I'll do a summary when I get home tonight, which tells you how much power I've used today. Okay, got back after work. Now did 45 miles and we're down at 34%. So that's about 65% or so to 45 miles. So that's about 1.4% per mile. So the range is going to be about 72, 75 miles roughly, which is quite a lot less than you're going to get from the 30 kilowatt one. So it does make a real big difference. It doesn't sound much, 24 kilowatts for this one, and 30 kilowatts for the other one, but in terms of real practical range, it makes a big difference. 30 kilowatt will do 80 miles before you hit the red. This one is going to be 70 miles before you hit the red, 60 even, 65. So it doesn't sound like much, but it makes a real difference. This car I could use for my short journeys, but for my longer journeys, which I did yesterday, I would have had to stop for a charge, whereas the 30 kilowatt one wouldn't. So that 15 mile range difference in terms of practical usage makes a real difference. Anyway, so that's my findings. Okay, so I just got back. A summary of my findings is that the 30 kilowatt Leaf does about 1% of battery for every mile, roughly, and this is about 1.4% of battery per mile. As a net result is, you will get close to 100 miles out of this one, and you will get 70 out of this. 75 if you're lucky. But that's the flat, which means, you know, you're going to be doing 80 on the red in the 30 kilowatt and about 60-ish in this before you hit the red. And that 20 mile difference is can make a real difference, and it did to me when I tried the 30 kilowatt one. So there's no reason to buy this one. It isn't that much cheaper either, not really. Just go for the 30 kilowatt, you do yourself a favour. And although the tech now is nice, that isn't really necessary either. So this is the Ascenta model and it's fine. The only thing I miss is the heated seats really, but even that's not a big deal. So there you are, recommendation, go for the 30 watt Ascenta and you'll be fine. And then you can do 40 mile each way, 80 mile round trips without having to worry about it.